The foundation I'm going to be reviewing today is the Revlon Nearly Naked Foundation, and I picked mine up at CVS and at Kmart, and the reason for that is I first picked them up at CVS in lighter shades. Well, then I self-tanned, so I went to Kmart and they were buy one get one half off, and I wasn't sure what color I was, so I picked up a darker shade. So I have 130 Shell, which I think will be a really good match for when I am not self-tanning, and then 150 Nude for when I am self-tanning. So I believe there are 14 to 16 different shades. The thing about the display that I thought was really cool is it had a little booklet that told you how to find out if you were cool or warm toned, and then based on light, medium, and dark, what shade you would need to pick out if you're like warm toned and you are a light skin tone, you know, what shades to choose from. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I chose, like I said, 130 Shell and 150 Nude. So I'm going to use 150 Nude today because I do have my self-tan still on. From some reviews that I've read, they've said that it's a really light coverage, and just from friends that have tried it have said they didn't like it because it was too light coverage. So I'm going to see for myself what I think of it, and they were $9.99 a piece, which is actually not very bad for a drugstore foundation. It's like the Revlon Color Stay in the jar, the whipped one is, you know, $13 to $15 depending on where you get it. So $10, a lot of times they're buy one get one half off, which actually works out really great if you're not too sure what shade you are. You can kind of pick like 2 different shades, and hopefully you're either one or the other, or you can mix them. So that is, I'm just gonna use Nude today. So I'm gonna shake it up, and it does have SPF 20 in it, and right now it is 8:14 in the morning. So I'm just gonna pour some on the back of my hand, and it is a pretty like liquidy foundation. It's not like really creamy or anything like that. So I'm gonna just use a buffing brush to do this. This is a angled kabuki brush, and I'm just gonna do half of my face to start off so we could see, you know, what one layer looks like versus no foundation, and then I'll put on a second layer if I need to. So it blends really easily. It has a little bit of a smell. I can't really think of, I think it's just like a foundation smell. It's not like a perfumey smell or anything like that, but just kind of smells like foundation. Put a little down my neck. Okay, so this is one layer. If I zoom in a little bit, I think one layer actually did a nice job of covering. I mean, both sides kind of have some redness in my cheeks and freckles. I see a little bit of redness peeking through right here, but not much. A tiny bit of redness here. But I think that one coat did a nice job. I think it covers, in one coat, covers better than a tinted moisturizer would. So definitely different than I expected. I haven't seen any demos on it. I've just heard personal reviews. So I think one coat actually covered really nicely. So let's put on a second coat and see where we are there. I definitely wouldn't say that it's super sheer by any means. So as of right now, I'm really pleased. That's the one thing I love about YouTube is everybody has different, you know, opinions, and what doesn't work for one person might be amazing for others. That's 2 coats, or 2 layers. I think it covered really nicely. I mean, maybe if you have a lot of acne scarring or something, it might not cover as well. My main problem is just some redness, like in my cheeks, right around here, around my nose. But I think that it covered it rather nicely. There's just a little bit, you know, on my cheeks that maybe I could apply a little bit more. But I don't know, I like it. Feels very nice and light to the skin. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit before I kind of touch it and see what it feels like, but let's go ahead and put foundation on this side. So that is 1 coat on this side and 2 coats on this side. I think it looks good. I mean, the color match is very, very nice for when I'm doing my self-tanning because, you know, obviously my body's a little bit tanner. I really like that it's not, I don't find that it's really yellow, and I don't find that it's really pink. It feels pretty neutral looking on me. I don't know what it will come up like when I go and edit it, but in person and in the viewfinder it looks really nice. So let's just put on this second layer real quick. yeah, I really love this foundation so far. Feels natural and looks natural. Like, it doesn't look like I've caked on a ton of makeup. But it covers and really evens out my skin tone, but it's definitely not a sheer or a really lightweight coverage by any means. I mean, it's not a full coverage like the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation or like the Estee Lauder Maximum Coverage. It's not a full coverage like that, but I don't think you'd really need much more unless maybe you had a lot of, like I said, scarring, and maybe that wouldn't cover it up as well. But I don't know, I like it. So that is what it looks like on my face. I'm gonna put a little bit of under eye brightener and stuff on, and then I'm gonna put the powder on as well. So this is the Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Spot Concealer, and this actually I believe is for like dark spots on your face, not the under eye dark circle treatment, but I like it for under my eyes. So I like it for under my eyes, I think, and it's in Fair. So this is the new one, and a lot of people were asking what the difference between this and the other one was. Well, this one is supposed to be for dark spots, while the other one, you know, that we're all used to is for dark circles, which is under your eyes. So this is meant to actually be like a spot treatment on your face, but I'm just gonna use it under my eyes because I really liked. Then the powder is the Nearly Naked powder. I believe that there was fair, light, medium, and dark in the stores, but from what I've read that there's actually a few extra shades, but they won't be out until there's the permanent, until it's on like the permanent collection wall. So I got light, and just looks like that, cute little packaging, just like all the Revlon powder packaging and the Revlon bronzer. And I'm gonna take my kabuki brush and let's just powder our face because I want to see how this all works together. It seems like it's got pretty nice coverage. Blend it in. Blends really nice, doesn't feel really heavy. 22. So I'll check back in a little bit and let you see how my face looks, if it's shiny, if it's worn off, how it's wearing. So I'll be back in a little while and we will see where we're at. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, so I'm here for a check-in and it is now 11:38, so I've had it on for about 3 hours. It's not gonna show, I don't think it's gonna show up on camera, but in person it's oxidized quite a bit. Like my face looks much darker in person than it did when I first put it on. So that's something to keep in mind because I think there's maybe 3 shades lighter of that foundation, and I had picked up, this one was in 150 Nude, and that is me with the spray tan. So it matched perfect, but then 3 hours, well, I noticed it probably an hour and a half later, it started oxidizing. So in person, I mean, on camera I look fine, but in the natural light outside, like my face is quite dark. It's not dark enough that it's like my face is super dark and the rest of my body is pretty light, but it is noticeable that it did oxidize. So that's a good thing to keep in mind when you're picking out your shade. If you find one that goes on and looks perfect, you might want to go down a shade because, like I said, probably within an hour of applying it, I noticed it starting to oxidize on my skin. So I don't know if it is, you know, the powder or what it is, but the finish overall I still really like. I mean, it hasn't budged. Again, it's only been 3 hours, but I'm a little bit shiny right in here. The light's reflecting it pretty well. So right in here is a little bit of shininess, the tip of my nose, and then my forehead's a little shiny, but other than that, I mean, the coverage is still really nice. So I'm a little worried because the other shade that I got for when I'm not self-tanning is 130 Shell. I may need to keep the vanilla shade that I was going to return because I thought it was going to be too light. So what I'll probably do is return the nude because if that's too dark, obviously when I'm self-tanning, then I have no use for it. So I might return this nude shade and just keep Shell and vanilla and use Shell when I'm self-tanning and vanilla during the other times. So I'll keep you posted. Sorry if that sounds really confusing. My best suggestion is just go a shade lighter than you think you are because it'll go on looking really good, but at least on me, it oxidized about an hour later. So that's my check-in for 3 hours later. I will check in a little later and let you know how it holds up. I'm not going to repowder it. So I just powdered it this morning during the demo, and we'll just see how it lasts. But the coverage is still really nice. I don't see any redness peeking through. So, so far so good. Just the oxidation thing. Oxidizing. Anyways, I'll check in with you guys later. Hi everyone, it is now 2:36. So it's been about 6 hours since I first put on this foundation. I have not touched up with powder. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. I am still pretty, well obviously I was shiny before, so I'm still really shiny right here in the, around my nose, a little on my chin, and a little on my forehead. But it's nothing like too, if you can see right there, it's not like an oil slick. It's probably not even considered greasy to some of you. To me, I feel oily, but I'm still not blotting it off yet. I'm trying to hold out. If I do go out, I will have to touch up with powder because I probably won't go out in public with a shiny T-zone. But other than that, it's held up really well. I went and laid down for about an hour, so I took a little nap. I don't find that it rubbed off or transferred onto my pillow, so that's always nice. It is still, you know, the same shade it was at my first check-in, so it oxidized to the shade that it was, you know, earlier, and it hasn't changed, so it hasn't gotten any darker. So it's still, you know how it is. And even in the camera, like, I don't think you'll even be able to notice. Just in person, it is a little bit darker, but other than just being a little shiny in my T-zone area, it's still holding up really, really well. For it already being 6 hours, I don't find that it has rubbed off anywhere. I've also eaten lunch, and like I said, I laid down and took a nap for about an hour. So I sleep on my stomach, so my face is like smushed into my pillow all the time, and I don't find that it has worn off at all. So it is 6 o'clock, and I'm getting ready to wash all my makeup off. Never touched up with any powder. Still just a little bit oily around the T-zone like I was earlier. I am noticing my makeup starting to kind of wear off on my forehead a little bit. But that's really the only place that I notice looking in the mirror that my makeup is kind of starting to wear off. It's just right around my forehead. So it holds up pretty good. Again, I put it on around 8:20 this morning, and now it is 6 o'clock. So pretty good wear time on it. The coverage is really nice. My only complaint would be that it oxidized. So just keep in mind going a few shades lighter, but I think for $10, it's a really nice foundation. It feels really light on the skin. I don't feel like I have a lot of heavy makeup on, and I really love the foundation. So I think for $10, it's a really great price, especially if it's buy one, get one half off. Then you can get, you know, this for $10 and this for $5. So I really like it. Again, I'm going to try this out using a lighter foundation to see if it kind of matches a little bit better. But overall, I think the foundation is great. So I think the coverage is good. I think that overall it does everything I need it to do, with the exception of oxidizing. So with that, just keep that in mind when you're choosing a color. So if you guys have tried this foundation out, let me know your thoughts of it, and I hope that this review and demo and first impressions was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!